Hi, everybody. This is Dorien Morin with Morin Media. I am sorry it took a little bit longer. I was trying to go live from my phone and I was having trouble. So I figured instead I would go live from my desktop, but it took a little bit of time to set it up. So if you're watching the rerun of this, it doesn't matter. But if you were here live, I'm sorry that I'm a few minutes late. I was here at 1 and it just didn't work out. But that sometimes happens, so that's okay. For those of you who don't know me, I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I am a social media consultant manager. And I love what I do. I've been doing this for about 6 years. I help local small businesses get found on social media, online, and I help them when they're busy working in their business. I help and work on their business for them. So I do anything from social media management to creating plans to creating images, all those kind of things that they might need help with. So how does this relate to you as a realtor? I also do a lot of personal branding consulting with people, and I was asked today to talk to you about personal branding. So I'm kind of gonna dive in. I had a presentation on my laptop that I can't access because I'm going live from my laptop. So I'm gonna go off the top of my head. So bear with me if I'm looking at a couple of notes that I scribbled real quick. But personal branding is super important because here's why. People are gonna do business with people they know, like, and trust. And people are going to do business with people that they have a familiarity with. So if you are busy online and you have an online branding, a personal branding, and then people meet you for the first time in person, they're going to feel like they already know you. That trust factor is really going to play an important factor there. And the same way is the other way around. If people have met you in real life, and now they might want to do business with you, so they look you up online. And if those two are the same, if who you are online matches who you are offline, and who you are offline matches who you are online, that builds that trust. And people, again, are not going to do business with businesses. They're doing business with people, and people they know, like, and trust. So your personal brand is super important for that purpose. So personal branding, that term was coined in 1977. The personal brand called You. That one was when it was first coined. And since then, there's been a lot of transformations. A lot of different things mean personal branding to different people. But I just want you to know that 75% of people that Google themselves find negative things about them. So let me give you a couple of terms for you to go look at yourself online and see what you find. And maybe then you have an understanding of what you might need to do to enhance your personal branding online. So there's something called a SERP, S-E-R-P, which is a search engine result page. Now, everybody has a SERP for their name. So if you're a realtor and you're using your name, or even if you don't use your name, you probably have a search engine result a page. And so as an exercise, after you're done watching this, I want you to go to Google, and if you know how to go incognito, that's even better, or go on a public computer. But even if not, type in your name or any name that you've used online and see what pops up for you on the search engine result page. Like I said before, 75% of people find negative things on the first page. Now here's the good news. 85% of people never go to page 2 of Google. They only look at the first page. So all you have to do is to have a good reputation online, is to have that first page look good. And there's different ways to do that. Of course, you have to take control of your personal brand. And a way to get positive things put on your SERP, on your engine result page, is to get multiple social media profiles. And I go over this when I teach this to seniors, college seniors, when they're going out into the world trying to look for a job. And they're like, well, there's a parking ticket here, there's a speeding ticket here, and there's things on there that they're not happy with. A way to push those results down is to create social media profiles. So if you see something on your SERP page that you don't like, create a Pinterest profile, a LinkedIn profile, a Twitter profile. If you don't have those yet, that's one way to push the negative things down and to have positive things. Because here is the deal. Your personal branding is all in your own two hands. It's what you make of it. And I'll use this as an example. Before I became a social media manager, anything you saw online about me, Dorien Morin, were either running related, so you see all the races where I was running, marathon running, half marathon running, and my church had put my name on their website because I was an elder at church. Those were the only two people that were talking about me, the only two results that would show up. Now that I have social media profiles on all these different social media platforms, when you search my name, those are what come up. And in all of them, it says that I'm a social media consultant, I'm a social media manager, so I'm in charge of my personal brand online. You can be too. So there's some different ways to do that. So it's going to be the 3 Ds. It's going to be define first, then design, and then deliver. So those are the 3 Ds of personal branding. So the first one is define. And that means is for you to understand who you are and who you want to be. And here's an exercise that I'll give you as another exercise is to find 10 people, either colleagues or friends or family. You're going to send them a Facebook message and you're going to ask them for 3 words, not sentences, 3 words that come to mind when they think of you. So you're going to, at the end of this exercise, end up with about 30 words. Now, you can send this out to 50 people if you want, but I would suggest, doing it to a smaller group. So once you have these 30 words, my guess is there are going to be some words that are overlapping. And you're going to circle those, and those are going to be kind of what you define, what other people right now see as your personal brand. That doesn't mean you're stuck with that, because again, you're in control of your own personal brand. If you don't like what they tell you, you know you have to redesign your personal brand. If you like part of what they tell you, some of the words, then maybe you're in the right direction, and you can steer that by design a little bit better. And if you love what they say about you, you're probably already kind of in that personal branding sphere. So that's a good thing. So do that exercise. Ask 10 people, 10 friends, family, colleagues to describe you in 3 words only. That gives you a good idea about who you are, what your personal brand is. That's the defining part. Now, if there's pieces that are missing, say you are a top 5% realtor in North Carolina, and that's not what anybody says, then when you design, you have to make sure that that's part of your personal brand. Okay, and part of your brand, your personal brand, is going to be this style, words. It encompasses kind of everything. It's not just who you are, but what you look like as well, but it's the words and the pictures that define, and the style that define your personal brand altogether. So once you have defined who you are now and who you want to be, and if they're not the same, then you need to design what it's going to look like. That includes what you wear, right? What you wear when you're out and about, what people recognize you for. Maybe you're the realtor who always wears a sharp suit. Maybe you're the realtor who wears funky socks. Maybe you're the realtor who wears a really cool car, or drives a really cool car. Maybe you're the realtor who always brings donuts. All of those are part of your personal brand. And you might already have that personal brand offline, but you've got to then transfer that personal brand online. So then when people see you online first and then they meet you in real life, then those two connect. I hope so far you're with me and you're understanding what I'm trying to do. So the first part is define who you are and who you want to be. The second part is design. So say you're the realtor with a really cool car, but that's offline. How can you transfer that online? Well, create some cool videos and pictures. Make sure that at least once a week there's a picture of you standing in front of your car, you sitting inside your car, you having your car parked in front of the house that you're selling, any of those things. But if your car that you drive, that people recognize you in town, is part of your branding in real life, that has to then translate to your branding online. So you got to make sure that that car is now. Or the other way around, if you have this cool car and you're having in all the videos, make sure that when you show up to sell the house, that the car is parked outside so people recognize, they say, oh, I saw the video of that car, there it is. And they can find that listing that you have while you have an open house because that car is parked right there. So that's that design part. And the last part is deliver. So how do you deliver that personal brand? Okay, and there's a lot of different avenues to do that. I love video. Okay, I'm a video coach, I'm a social media coach, I'm a video coach, and I help people get over the fear of doing video, over the fear of the camera shyness. It's really my expertise. I have a lot of local clients that are afraid to be in front of the camera. And when I first started working with them, they would say, Doreen, can you just do my video? And I would say, no, it's your business. You've got to be on video. So one way to deliver that personal brand online is through video. If you can get comfortable in front of the camera, that's going to be amazing because then people are going to hear you, see you, and then when they meet you in real life, they feel like they already know you, then they can trust you. So video is really great. Another way to do it is by lots of pictures. You know, if you're not comfortable doing video just yet, maybe your personal branding can include lots of pictures. Maybe every time you have a new listing, you go to the donut shop and you have a donut. Or maybe every time you sign a contract or you sell a home, you celebrate with a special latte, you know, and you get that coffee cup, the same coffee cup every time. But it's that branding part. And then you deliver it by being consistent. The other part of personal branding is that people have to see the same you through all the different platforms. So if you're one person, you kind of have to be that same person on Facebook. You kind of have to be that same person on video. So once you have defined and then designed who you are, the delivery should be that you're that same person and you have the same keywords, but you also sound and look the same on all those different platforms and that you're consistent with that. The other part to that consistency is that you have a consistent time that you're online. Say that you do a video. Well, set a time to do the video. I don't care if it's once a month or once every 2 weeks or once a day. But people, when you're consistent with your personal branding and delivering content online, they're going to start looking for it. So a weekly show, a bi-weekly show, a weekly blog, a weekly email with a picture of you. They're looking for you and to get information from you consistently. And the more consistent that you are, the more they're looking forward to it, and the more that trust is growing and growing, and you're building that personal brand. So I'm going to go pull out my phone, and I'm going to see if there are any questions. Oh, I actually can read the comment from Rosemary. She said, love this information. Good. I was going to pull out my phone and make sure that I wasn't missing any questions, but I can actually read this information. So if you do have a question, if you want to have questions specifically about how to deliver content or need me to be a little more specific about personal branding, I certainly can do that. I think that for a realtor, it's really important to be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is kind of used to be the, Rolodex of social media. I always would say, well, if you're just on LinkedIn, that way you. But it's a lot more than that. LinkedIn now allows you to upload a video natively, so you can take a little video on your phone, go to the LinkedIn app, and post a video right on LinkedIn, which is new, and very soon LinkedIn is going to allow LinkedIn Live, just like Facebook Live is allowing you to do that, and Instagram is allowing you to go live soon. They said by the end of this year. I'm not sure it will happen before 2018, but LinkedIn is going to also allow you to go live. There's a lot of business people on LinkedIn. Think about who you could meet on LinkedIn by talking about your neighborhood. Okay, let me look. There was a question that popped up. Should our branding be on everything we do? And do we need a logo? There's two different trains of thought about a logo. If you are part of a company, if you're a realtor part of a company and you're doing business under that company and you don't have your own website, or you have a website or a page on their website, I don't believe a logo is necessary. If you have a personal blog that you talk about, that you have a different separate website, I think it would be cool to have a logo. And I'm kind of going to explain it from my experience. I do have my own website. I'm a social media consultant. But what happened to me is that my orange glasses became my logo. So instead of having a logo on all my profiles, I just make sure I always wear my glasses when I'm in pictures. So it could be something to that effect. If you had a special suit, or if you brought the donuts, you know, those examples I used, you could use those in your branding, in your pictures, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a logo. It could be something that you're known for. So if you have that car that's branded, or if you have that special funky car that you drive and that they recognize you to be a realtor that drives that funky car, have that car in the picture with you. But yeah, the branding should be on almost everything that you do. Now, you don't have to completely go overboard and do everything right now, but I always tell people and new clients that I work with, once you define and design who you are and who you want to be, then every time you update something, you add that logo or you add that new picture to it. So for example, if you have a store, you know, this is completely different from a realtor, but I go in, I work with a new client, and we decide to add our Facebook icon and our Instagram icon to the business card. And I said, well, next time you order new shopping bags, let's put the Facebook and the Instagram icon on it. Next time you make new signs, you put it on. I'm not telling you to throw away those signs. Next time you get it printed, add those things to it. So I hope that helps. Tyler says, what's the value in LinkedIn ads? Do you encourage using them? LinkedIn ads are very expensive. I would rather you put a little bit of time in making a short video that talks about either a specific home or your expertise in what you sell, or in the market or in the local market, and do a video, you know, 3 minutes a day, than going to spend money on LinkedIn ads. It's very hard to target people on LinkedIn. It's just expensive. Right now, Facebook ads are pretty cheap. If you're going to do any advertising, I would encourage you to do advertising on Facebook instead, unless you have this huge budget. LinkedIn ads are still more for large corporations, in my opinion, than for individuals. You know, you can do some, but I think you get a lot out of actual posting on LinkedIn. A video, or you can actually blog on LinkedIn. It's called LinkedIn Pulse, and you can write articles on there, and people read them and share them. So that's a great way to get in people's newsfeed on a daily basis. So I would, before running Facebook ads, I would highly recommend you create your own content, again, about where your expertise lies, and share that on LinkedIn before doing the ads. Rosemary has another question. How often should you post on Instagram? I have the hardest time staying consistent there. Again, depends on who you're targeting. And the best way to stay consistent, if this is going to be help to anybody, is to create a editorial calendar for social media. It could just be a blank page that you print off of the internet for the month, say for November. Put the dates in it, and then say Instagram Monday through Saturday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, whatever you decide how many times, but post it on there. So every day when you get to your office, or when you're looking at your to-do list, add that calendar where you're going to see it. And that if you write it down, you're going to be consistent. The other thing to do is take lots of pictures all the time. I know it's called Instagram and you're supposed to take instant pictures of where you are now, but a lot of people use kind of pictures that they might have used, taken last week, or, it's not always consistent in where they are. It's sometimes hard to make up a story, especially if you're sitting in the office and doing that kind of work, but people might still be interested that you're sitting in the office and doing, paperwork. That is all part of being a realtor. So you can also take a picture of your coffee mug next to your computer saying, hey, I'm doing paperwork, anybody else understand the grind? So consistency comes from making a plan. If that's really the answer. And then coming up with what to post also just takes a brainstorming session, and that goes back to that define who you are and then design who you want people to know you are. So if that design includes, being known for something, make sure you have those pictures in your portfolio so you can post them. I think it's definitely hard to stay consistent on Instagram. I have that same problem. I work from home. This is my home office. You can see it. It's not very exciting. I'm here by myself. I do have my dogs in here when I'm not doing a Facebook Live. I locked them out of my office. As you can see, there's a lock on my door. But it's hard to take pictures and fun things of things that I'm doing when all I'm doing is sitting behind the computer. So I have to come up with ideas ahead of time. So here are some things that you can post on Instagram. You can do a testimonial once a week. You can do a behind the scenes, maybe when you're out once a week, maybe when you're running an errands, maybe once a week you can, if you have a networking meeting, you can take a picture of that and post that. So once you have about 5 to 10 different things that you can post, different categories, and then you decide to post 4 times a week maybe, or 5 times a week, then you can pick one thing from that category. As long as you write down the plan on paper, makes it a lot easier to come up with ideas. And I have that running list for most of my clients of, I was like, oh, I don't know. Well, quotes are another thing that work really well on Instagram. So you can do a quote. So testimonial, quote, behind the scenes, networking meeting, new listing. There's all these different ideas. And once you have a list of ideas of what you can post, you just pick one thing. And I think that should help. So I would be happy to answer more specific questions about personal branding. I have a small foray into it. I think it's important to think about and know how people perceive you, and why it's important to have that personal brand, because especially, in your industry as well as mine, there's a lot of other social media managers out there, a lot of social media freelancers out there. There's lots of realtors out there. Why would they want to work with you? What's unique about you? What's authentic about you? Whatever it is that people tell you that they love about you, those testimonials that you get when you sell a home, we loved working with you, you were timely, you were on time. Whatever they say characteristics about you, those are probably the things you should highlight online. And it might feel a little weird at first, like, oh, look at me, I'm so good. It kind of might feel like that a little bit, but that's really what you should be highlighting, because that's what other people are saying about you. And that's where that connection, that real you, who you are online and offline, where that comes together, and that authenticity really comes in. So I had fun today. Thank you for watching. If you watch this as a replay, you missed the part where I was 5 minutes late because I had trouble with my phone, but I'm glad I was able to jump on my laptop. For those of you who were live here, thank you so much for asking questions. I'd be happy to answer more questions. Connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn or both. I'm happy to connect with more people. And you guys have a beautiful state of North Carolina. I visit often, and if I can ever be of help with anybody, just let me know. Just connect with me. I'm going to say goodbye, and have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Bye, everybody.